Wednesday, 9 March, The Gap News This Morning, podcasting live from Kuala Lumpur, I'm Ghazali Abdullah. Good morning. First the headlines. Malaysia to commence transition towards endemic phase on April 1st, says Prime Minister. Tan Sri Idris Harun to serve another year as Attorney General. Klang Valley flash floods persist, areas inundated after just 1 hour. COVID-19 daily infections drop below 30,000 for second day in a row. 26,856 new cases detected. Evacuations from 2 besieged areas of Ukraine begin. War in Ukraine, West hits Russia with oil bans and gas curbs. And Alexander Zverev given suspended 8-week ban for striking umpire's chair. And now the news in full. Malaysia will begin phase 1 of the transition towards the endemic phase of the COVID-19 pandemic starting April 1st. Allowing businesses to operate beyond 12 a.m., Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob announced Tuesday. In a press conference, he said all restrictions on operating hours have been lifted and that businesses can open according to the conditions set by their respective licenses. He said this will allow the public to eat out past midnight, while allowing 24-hour convenience stores to open as normal. However, Ismail stressed that this is still a transitional period into entering the endemic phase of the pandemic, as the decision on the latter was up to the World Health Organization. Ismail also said the government has decided to reopen its borders starting April 1st. He said this was based on 3 factors: science and current facts on COVID-19, the need for reopening borders among neighboring countries, and to reduce the burden of travelers attempting to enter Malaysia. Ismail said the operation of businesses past 12 a.m. will help those observing the Ramadan fasting month. However, the use of the MySejahtera contact tracing app will still be compulsory except in open and uncongested places, while the MySJ Trace feature will be made compulsory for closed areas that are filled with visitors. For prayers in mosques, surahs, and other places of worship involving non-Muslims, Ismail said no physical distancing will be required, but it's still conditional to the decisions made by the respective state religious authorities and the National Unity Ministry. Regarding interstate travel, all individuals are allowed to move about as they wish, regardless of their vaccination status. He also said there will no longer be a 50% venue capacity cap for mass gatherings, but social distancing was important and highly encouraged. The Prime Minister added that the reopening of Malaysian borders means that Malaysians would no longer be required to apply for the My Travel Pass as it has been abolished. Instead, they merely needed to complete a pre-departure form using the traveller function contained in the MySejahtera app. After only an hour of heavy downpour, areas in the Klang Valley were experiencing flash floods, with netizens taking to social media to share videos and images of the chaos. In a video uploaded by a Twitter user, streets in Jalan Klang Lama could be seen to be already flooded with muddy waters as water levels continue to rise. Besides that, Hulu Langat has not been spared either, as another shared a video of what appeared to be a hailstorm in the area. According to Astro Radio Traffic, flash floods in the right lane of Jalan Syed Putra have caused traffic congestion from KL Central heading to Mid-Valley. Road users along the new Pantai Expressway and Sungai Besi could be seen climbing out of the roofs of their cars as their vehicles lay inundated. Traffic in Jalan Raja Cholan reported chest-high water levels well past the tires of cars. Kuala Lumpur's City Hall's Integrated Transport Information System reported that as of 3:50 p.m., the Tapong Haji and Chansalun tunnels, as well as areas in Jalan Pudu, Jalan Sri Permaisuri, Jalan Tun Razak, and Jalan Pahang experienced flash floods. In a Facebook post, the Malaysian Highway Board said that several routes were affected by the flash floods, such as the Besraya Expressway from the city centre to Salak Selatan, from Kuchai to Salak Jaya, and from Kampung Malaysia to Kuchai. 4 lanes on the Kesas Highway at the Awan Besar West Toll Plaza saw high water levels, with only a single lane accessible at kilometre 48.3 eastbound towards the Sukhum Junction, it added. Tan Sri Idris Harun has been reappointed as the Attorney General and would be serving the position for another year. Chief Secretary to the government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, in a statement Tuesday, said the reappointment was assented to by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The Vibes reported on Friday that the 67-year-old's contract had been extended by another year. Malaysia recorded 26,856 new COVID-19 cases on Monday, bringing the cumulative number of infections in the country to 3,649,463 since the pandemic began, says the Health Ministry. According to the ministry's COVID Now portal, 26,645 of the cases reported on Monday were local transmissions, with 211 imported cases also detected. Malaysia also recorded 30,726 recoveries on Monday, bringing the number of active cases to 304,304, a reduction of 3,947 cases. Of Monday's active cases, 95.9% or 291,827 patients are undergoing home quarantine, while another 3,373 individuals, or 1.1%, are being treated at low-risk quarantine and treatment centers. Of the 8,736 cases that required hospitalization, 368 have been admitted to intensive care units (ICUs), with 223, or 0.1%, requiring ventilation. A new attempt to let civilians leave the northeastern city of Sumy and Irpin near Kiev has begun. In the past few days, Russian shelling has prevented the evacuation of civilians despite ceasefire agreements. People will be allowed to travel to safer places in Ukraine. On Monday, many of Russia's proposed evacuation routes led only to Russia or its ally Belarus. Alexei Koluber, governor of the Kiev region, says people have been leaving the town of Irpin on foot. UK Defense Secretary Ben Wallace says Russian troops have not progressed as they hoped and are now getting more desperate. Russian Deputy Prime Minister warns Moscow could retaliate against European sanctions by cutting up natural gas to the bloc. The US and UK are banning Russian oil, and the EU is ending its reliance on Russian gas, stepping up the economic response to the invasion of Ukraine. US President Joe Biden said the move targeted the main artery of Russia's economy. Energy exports are a vital source of revenue for Russia, but the move is also likely to impact Western consumers. Major brands have meanwhile continued to pull out of Russia, with McDonald's and Coca-Cola the latest to leave. Russia's economy is heavily dependent on energy. It is the world's third biggest oil producer, behind Saudi Arabia and the US. Before the measures were announced, Russia warned of catastrophic consequences for the global economy and said it might close its main gas pipeline to Germany. The conflict has sent petrol prices to record highs in the US and the UK. On the ground in Ukraine, civilians have been evacuated from 2 under-attack areas, while the US has said up to 4,000 Russian troops may have been killed in the conflict. And now for some sports news. World number 3 Alexander Zverev faces an 8-week ban from tennis if he repeats the behavior which led to his expulsion from the Mexican Open. In February, the German Olympic champion was fined $40,000 and forfeited all his prize money for striking the umpire's chair in Acapulco. Zverev has now been found guilty of a major offense after an ATP review. As well as the 8-week ban, Zverev has been handed a further suspended $25,000 fine. To end the bulletin, here are the headlines again. Malaysia to commence transition towards endemic phase on April 1st, says Prime Minister. Tan Sri Idris Harun to serve another year as Attorney General. Klang Valley flash floods persist, areas inundated after just 1 hour. COVID-19, daily infections drop below 30,000 for a second day in a row. 26,856 new cases detected. Evacuations from 2 besieged areas of Ukraine begin. War in Ukraine, West hits Russia with oil bans and gas curbs. Alexander Zverev given suspended 8-week ban for striking umpire's chair. This has been the Gap News this morning, Wednesday, 9 March, with reports from Free Malaysia Today, The Vibes and the BBC World Service. The Gap News is also available on the internet news portal Melaka Hari Ini. We hope you found the bulletin informative. We certainly welcome hearing from you. If you do have the opportunity, please do write in. We would certainly love to hear from you. Podcasting live from Kuala Lumpur, I'm Ghazali Abdullah.